I'm Kaiser. I'm the executive director here with the Prineville-Crook County Chamber of Commerce. I grew up in Prineville, graduated from high school here in 1989. When I'm not working, I spend virtually all of my free time out in the backcountry here, and one of the things that I've always loved about Crook County is the diversity of outdoor opportunities out there. We have everything from high deserts to pine forests, the Ocho Mountains, and I love the history, I love exploring, I love all the miles of open country we have here. One thing people may not know about me is that my passion for the outdoors has kind of evolved into another hobby, which has been videoing a lot of my experiences. So a couple of years ago, I created a YouTube channel called Coyote Works, and I just put together a lot of really poorly edited videos of exploring lost mines and finding old homesteads and a lot of what I do out in the backcountry. You know, it's interesting, I hear some different thoughts on what chambers do out there, and oftentimes they're not necessarily accurate, but one thing I hear frequently is something along the lines of that mainly what chambers do is they put on these community kind of networking events or feel-good little events, and while we do put on some events, they're not just for the purposes of feel-good and networking. They have a very specific business purpose that ties into our mission to support our membership. So our mission at the Prineville-Crook County Chamber of Commerce, really we look at as having two main components to it. One is the Chamber of Commerce, which is our name and what people think of. And our chamber mission is really all about advocating for our local businesses, developing our local business community, and doing what we can to support and help our local businesses grow. But another significant part of our organization is the operation of the visitor center here, and that portion of our mission really consists of the development and the promotion of tourism in our area. Tourism is important on a number of levels, but one of the key functions that we see tourism having in our community is the function in economic development, or the expansion of our local economy. We know that there's a quantifiable dollar amount that the average daily tourist is worth, and the culmination of all those tourism dollars can help us to grow the economic product of our community. In fact, what we know is that the average daily spending of a destination recreation tourist will average between $150 and $280 a day. And so we can multiply that out and see that about every 50 to 75 visitors to our area is the equivalent of adding another living wage job to our community. So I think something that a lot of people don't realize is that when it comes to developing tourism in our area, there's several different fronts that we have to work on. And one is the tourism assets or features themselves. And what we mean by that is the designation of rockhound sites, the designation of trails for folks to hike and ride their bikes on and things like that. Developing the actual assets that bring visitors to our area. But then another aspect is then getting the word out about those assets. So once we have those things, then we have to tell people out of our area about them. But even another area that we also have to be cognizant of is people come to visit for activities, but they need services here to support them while they're doing those activities. So we also have to be cognizant of the development of our downtown, our involvement in the Downtown Strategic Planning Committee, our work with businesses to encourage them to make improvements to the appearance and the facades of their businesses and how they interact with tourism. So there's really a lot of different levels that we have to, at this point, that we have to be working on simultaneously. So between the development of our business community through our Chamber of Commerce portion of our organization and the development of tourism through the visitor center portion, obviously it takes a lot of people to make any progress in those areas. So here in the office we have myself and two other full-time staff people, Zach and Amy.
Hey, I'm Zach.
Hi, I'm Amy.
If you stop by, you'll meet them. And then our board is another important component of that too. Our board volunteers their time, and our board really, their function is kind of the highest level of leadership and governance of the organization. So I work together with the board to create an annual strategic plan that's then up to me to execute that plan, report back regularly to the board, but then also work with the board on an ongoing basis to make adjustments as needed as opportunities or changes or different factors come up throughout the year. As much as possible as an organization, what we try to do is find an area that either complements or fills in an area that's not covered by some of the other organizations in the community. So, we have various different groups in the community performing different functions. We have our city and county government, our local economic development, Prineville economic development, and the Chamber of Commerce, for example, are just a small number of the organizations that all kind of have to work together. So it's really important that the city and county, they have a lot of responsibility with the provision of basic services, the maintenance of our infrastructure here, or water, power, sewer, roads, those types of things. Our Prineville Economic Development focuses on growing our traded sector business, our job base from traded sector business here. And then the Chamber of Commerce and Visitor Center kind of takes the lead on the tourism and the small business advocacy piece here. So one of the really exciting things right now is just all of the opportunities that we have in front of us. We have a tremendous amount of recreational opportunities to develop here, and the reality is that we can facilitate a pretty extensive additional amount of tourists to our area without impacting at all the local experience here, our community. So we're excited about that room to grow that. We really have some of the most beautiful scenery in Oregon here. I like to say that, and please no one else take offense to this, but I like to say I'm Crook County's biggest fan. This has been my favorite place for a long time, but the business climate is definitely turning. Since the recession, we've been slowly working our way forward, but we're starting to see more businesses emerge. We're starting to see more of our space downtown filling up. So we think we have good times ahead. Our membership is growing, and we're learning better as an organization how to help our members meet their goals. So in about the last 12 months, we've really increased our efforts to promote and advertise some of our tourism assets outside of our area. And what's really exciting is already in a pretty short period of time, we're seeing results from that. We're having people come here into the visitor center who are sharing with us that they're here because they read the article in the Oregonian about our great restaurants here or our great hikes to take. So we're looking forward to continuing that effort and seeing those results grow.